definitely the results of the elections change the landscape. I'm not going to talk about politics because that's
Yeah.
not the thing. But the fact that the US had an election and you finally know, okay, this is the person we're going to deal with and this is the
Yeah.
policies that they have today, the fact that it's clear now made a positive impact.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Grow IT podcast. One of your hosts here, Trey King. And today we are very excited to have our guest, Mr. Rodrigo, or as most of us call him, Rod from TechAffinity. And we'll be diving into his story a little bit today, and as well as what it is his company does, and then some engaging insights, as always, into the technology industry. So make sure to stick around for this one. But without further ado, Rod, welcome to the Grow IT podcast, man.
Thank you so very much. It's an honor that you have noticed me, and it's great to be here. It's my first experience in a podcast, so I'm a little bit nervous. So you're going to excuse me if I say or don't say something right.
No problem. Well, I'm glad to be, I'm glad that I'm your first. That sounds a lot weird, but but I'm glad that you can have this first experience with us, man.
Yeah.
I think on that note, Rod, if you don't mind, just to quickly introduce yourself and just tell us a bit about your background, a snippet or two of your story.
Sure. Yeah, well, first of all, my background is all IT. Information technology has been my life. So I'm very, very used to be, in backstage. I don't I don't stand on the spotlight at
Yeah,
all. So we're not very comfortable sometimes with doing this, but I do feel well today. And
excellent.
I've been working, I've had so many roles, man. But mostly as a business analyst because I have a thing with people. I'm good with people. So I, because I was good with people, I was good with developers. Once I learned all the jargon and all the technical concepts, I was good talking to them and I was good talking to business people. So I started out as a business analyst. Then I moved into different management positions. Like I did call center management. I did security groups management, business applications, technical support management, all that. Then I decided to go back to business analysis only because I detected when I first started, we were not doing agile and we were not doing Scrum the way we do it today. So I went back to
Yeah,
business analysis just to get updated and upgraded on some things. And I was in the middle of that when I came into TechAffinity in a very different role, doing operations first, and then from operations, I kind of evolved into doing sales and trying to do. I did talent acquisition, and I do client management today for TechAffinity.
excellent. So, tell me, how did you decide specifically on this? In the beginning, on this business sector, what was like that, that spark you had in the beginning, that made you so passionate about what you're doing?
Oh, it was crazy. It's still crazy, I still have challenges about, okay, so what am I supposed to do now? Where do I go now?
Yeah.
Because I'm 40 years old, more than 40 actually, but let's say 40.
You look a lot younger than 40, man.
Well, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
So it was hard to make a decision because the information and technology has so many different routes, so many different paths that you can decide or take. And I was not particularly uh, passionate about one of them. I wanted everything. I wanted all. So in that path is when I decided, okay, I'm just going to learn some little bits of everything.
Yeah.
And people would tell me all the time, dude, you cannot be a jack of all trades in the IT field. You have to specialize on something and you have to hyper specialize on something if possible so that you can have success. But I'm here to say, well, that's not always the case. Sometimes you can be a jack of all trades, or you will find a spot for you. So people always tells you, follow your dreams. I actually have it there. It says follow your
Yeah.
dreams. Follow your dreams because if you want to be a React or PHP developer and you
Yeah.
feel like you want to be the best programmer in the world, then go ahead, by all means, do it. But
Yeah.
if you're not set up or think about that so deep, then don't take that route because it's gonna frustrate you. So I was frustrated for some part of my life, and then I decided, okay, I'm just going to keep on doing whatever it is that I think and feel and see that I'm good at,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna try something else and see if I'm good at it or not. So the taking the risk to
Yeah,
fail, it's always a good thing as well.
definitely. Tell me, Rod, based on your, expertise, you've obviously been doing this for quite some time now. Like, what would you say is the current trends, that you're picking up, in the industry? What have you been noticing? Where's the wind blowing these days?
Um, as everybody knows or is aware by now, it's artificial intelligence, machine
Yep,
learning.
that's the
Everybody
buzzword,
should
right? That's the buzzword.
everybody should be learning. I mean, if you're a developer, programmer, you should be learning Python by now. It
Mm,
doesn't matter what specific type of developer you are. You should be reading about Python, learning about it, practicing it, because you're gonna have to use it. So the problem with us in IT field sometimes is that we are so squared in our thinking, and we say, okay, no, I know I'm good at this. I'm gonna stay with it. I'm gonna stick to it. I know
mhm,
it does pay well sometimes. I mean, if you are in, let's say, COBOL and you want to stay there, there's a bank that's going to pay you very well to be a COBOL developer, but only for so long. We don't know how things are going to change, and they are changing too rapidly today.
Okay.
So I say, go ahead, get into artificial intelligence, but don't
Mhm,
ever forget that we as technologists uh, deal with people. We serve people. We don't serve machines. So let's deep dive into machine learning, artificial intelligence. Yeah, let's know about that, but let's not forget to talk about people. Let's not forget to talk about our business. So
mhm.
I see the trend. I see, like you said, the buzzword everywhere, but
Yeah,
I feel like many of us are falling in the trap of not paying attention to people anymore and just thinking about artificial intelligence. It's good to know about it. Let's dive into it, but don't forget the business side of things.
I agree. Tell me, and then what's your take on the current market sentiment at the moment?
Excuse me?
The market sentiment. What's the climate of our market lately? A lot of our like
See,
clients, a lot
there,
of our
there's that.
clients that I
There's
yeah
this there's this very interesting combination of people looking at the bright side of things today and people looking at the dark side of things today.
yeah
So you have both things.
mm,
The market, depending on the leadership of any given company,
yeah
some of the market is going down rapidly because they are only looking at the dark side of things. Okay, the economic depression has come. Uh, Everything is going to be worse now. The war's coming to an end, and all that thinking, it just creates a negative impact on many companies. So the market has been down. People are stopping to do some projects. They are halting projects.
yeah
They're not wanting to take a risk and endeavor in something new. But there's the other side, the side that says, okay, it's a bright future ahead. So we're going to either prepare for it, we're going to do research, we're going to prepare tools for that, we're going to develop new solutions, and or we're just going to go make a change in our business model so that we
mm,
can go to a new market. Because what we had in the past, it's not maybe it's not being that good anymore today, but there's a
yeah
chance that we have something new. I see that in the market. I see that, and I'm a very avid reader of the LinkedIn thing. That's my
yeah
social networking, and I see that in the posts where you will have one very positive post from somebody, and then the next one is going to be a very negative thing.
yes. It's like a yin yang effect.
And it's
Uh,
good to have those because you kind of get a balance, but I don't think anybody should lose the positive aspect. I don't think there's people complaining about money, there's not enough money, but you see uh, people trying to allocate their money in good
mm,
projects all the time. There's tons and tons of millions of dollars of business investors that they want to allocate that money to a project, but because you think you're thinking negatively, then you're not bringing that offer to that business people.
yeah, and I agree with you. One should ever be evolving, right? And I mean, now with with some new seats to be filled in US government as well, a lot of our clients, would argue they are cautiously optimistic, as well for 2025. But I agree with you that especially the last 2 years, we had quite a downturn,
See,
from
now
the
that
market.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but now that you
Yeah,
mention it, definitely the results of the elections change the landscape. And I'm not going to talk about politics because that's
yeah,
not the thing. But the fact that the US had an election and then finally and you finally know, okay, this is the person we're going to deal with, and this is the
yeah.
policies that they have today. The fact that it's clear now made a positive impact. It could probably have been the same if the other candidate would have won.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the fact that they made a decision and we know what to face in the
What
future,
yeah, what's coming.
that was good.
Yeah, man. Even with I mean, I was supposed to meet with one of our clients. When was it? I think earlier this week, and he told me, Trey, I literally I cannot give you time this week. And I said, so everything, obviously, client relationship, just once a year, is everything all right? Obviously, we do their marketing and things like that. And the and he told me that since that result came out from the election, he said there were so many green lights on previous projects and deals that were hanging in the air. And he said he had green lights just coming through just after, like 2 days, 3 days after that
Yeah,
result.
everything
So it's
exploded.
interesting, right? It's interesting.
Yes.
But I think Rod, this is maybe a good time to, tell the listeners, or just explain a bit, what is it specifically, what your company does.
Okay, let's talk about TechAffinity. TechAffinity was born 24 years ago
Yeah,
in Tampa, in Florida, the United States. And we have operation centers. We have different operation centers. One of them is in India, the other one's in Africa, and the other one, we're building the next one. We're building capacity for Latin America. So
excellent.
we have operation centers everywhere because different markets have different needs. But mostly in America, we needed to start the Latin American operations because the US companies were asking for nearshoring. Like they wanted to be in the same timeline and in the same time zone.
Mm, mm, mm.
So we did that. And but particularly the thing with Tech Affinity is number one, our CEO, he when he founded the company, he said, okay, this is going to be a technology agnostic company. So we're not going to marry with the specific framework or specific language or anything specific. Again, that you may say, okay, that's not good. No company should do that. Every company that's born, they should be very specific and hyper focused on something and then grow that business. But our CEO, he proved
Yeah.
that you can be technology agnostic and have success. So
Mm,
that's what he did, and we have embraced that same culture. The other thing he's very concerned about, and I think it's a good differentiator for us, is the fact that we talked to every client. We before we do anything, we listen to them.
yeah,
And
yeah,
today, many technology companies have fallen in the trap of saying, okay, this is my proposal, and I'm going to send it up and I'm going to try to shove it up your throat.
yeah,
And, and then once you digest it, you're going to come back to me and say, yeah, you're just what I need. But
yeah.
that's not the case. So we listen first and we stay with the client. there was a time when my boss told me, "Hey, I need you to fly with me because we're going to go visit the client." And we took a flight and we spent 2 days at that location, and then we came back to our base. And I was thinking, why are we doing this? uh,
Yeah.
it's the CEO flying with me to meet the client. And but once we were sitting there, the client said, "You know why I picked you guys?" And I said, "Why?" "Because you showed up here to my door, and having the CEO of a company and having you sitting here, it means a lot to me. So we're
Yeah.
going to work with you guys. We
Good
don't
to
want to
work.
work with anybody else."
Tell me the I mean that is a excellent I don't know if you would label that as your, your most significant value, that you guys offer, that attention to detail and that, that personal touch that you have with your clientele, right? That communication, it seems to me that your communication lines are quite open when it comes to your clientele.
I will
And
say,
the is there any other, like, from a value perspective, that you would say, you know what, this is the value we provided? If you don't mind to, maybe you got a possible, like, not a full case study obviously, but just if you can
yeah,
mention the situation you guys were in where that value plays a big role.
I think I would separate between number one, we do custom software for companies.
Yep. Yep.
That's one of the main things we do, custom software for companies. We don't partner with commercial software. We build
Okay.
things for your requirements, for your specific scenario. Um, Number one, and that's very good when you talk with businesses that are not in the information and technology industry.
Mm, mm.
But we also do staffing or staff augmentation or
Right.
outsourcing, or you want to call it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the main thing when we talk to information and technology companies, because what we have to offer for them is not, "Oh, we're going to build you some custom software," because they can do it themselves. But what we have for them is, okay, so you need two developers on React? Yeah, we're going to get them for you. They're going to stay in our payroll, but they're going to be dedicated to you.
Okay, got it.
And then
Got
you have the ability and you have the capability from these guys at your service to accomplish your goal and deliver or finalize your project, whatever it is that you need. And then once the project is done, they can come back to us. So
so
you will
that's
have the results.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you. So I'm just thinking now, so even from the, so like you guys can save these companies, clients, a lot on operational cost, then obviously not having their permanent
Correct.
positions, and obviously that they outsource it and you guys put people down to get the job done.
And the other thing is, um, I always say this to the clients. I tell them, okay, so you are going to get one developer. He's a Java specialist. He's going
Yeah.
to work for you on this project. But remember that he is still part of our organization. So you're going to have 200 more people backing him up because he's going to be working for you, but he's also connected to us. So whenever he feels like he needs some help on some technical thing, yes, he's going to go to Stack Overflow. He's going to ask the
Yeah.
artificial intelligence, but he's got a team. He's got managers that he can go to and say, "Hey guys, I'm stuck with this. Can you
Yeah.
help me?" And he's going to have that as well.
Excellent. Rod, you've obviously been around. You got quite a colorful background. In the sense of, or let me rather ask you this: if you're, in your opinion, what type of mindset would you say is needed to be a successful, may it be founder of a company or even a leader in a company? Um, what do you think it will take,
Oh, you
or,
mentioned two
or what it
different
takes?
words. In my mind, you mentioned two different words
Yeah.
because you may be a founder but not a leader, or you may be a leader and not a founder for a
Good
company.
point.
So if you are a founder for a company, main thing is never give up. I mean, we have seen that over and over. I am very interested, always very interested in startups, and
Yeah.
I follow the trends, and I see how they, again, how they express themselves, how they recently they've been talking more about how they had some errors,
Yeah.
how they failed on something. And I can see that the majority of people will fail. If
Mm.
you're a founder, there's a very high chance that you're going to fail at some point. So resilience is always key. The people that don't give up and they are flexible enough and they believe in themselves, but also believe in what they are doing, those are the ones that are going to have success. And it's not only success in terms of money, but
Yeah.
success in terms of life. They're going to be
Yeah.
doing what they want to do, what they're passionate about, and they are going to make money in the end. Now, about leaders, let's say you're a founder, and Trek here is a founder, and he gets Rodrigo as a leader. Then I'm not a founder, but I have to talk to you. Communication is the key.
Yeah. Good point.
Communication with your CEO,
Same
and
vision.
your leader, communication with everybody around you. I mean, I have seen this. I don't want to use a bad word. I have seen this in practical settings where
If
you
you
have.
want to, we can like beep it out, right?
Okay. I don't want to. My boss is going to be looking at this.
Okay, no. Okay. Sorry, guys.
But I
No
have seen
beeping today.
places where you have a big table
Yeah.
with leadership, and then around it you have so many tables with everybody else doing work.
Yes.
And so everybody's sitting on the same floor. They don't have any walls, they don't have anything, but they don't talk to each other.
Mm.
So you miss the point. The point of everybody being there was that everybody could talk to each other, and they
Yeah.
don't. That's crazy.
Tell
And
me.
I know, yeah,
No, sorry. Sorry. Please continue.
and I also have the experience of working remotely. And like I told you, some of my colleagues are in India, some of them are in Tampa, some of them are in Africa and Rwanda, some of their some of them are here in El Salvador. So I have had the experience of working good with them, talking to them as often as possible. And
Yeah.
maybe I know there's time differences, but maybe we have a chat room where everybody, puts their thoughts there, their questions, and we can get along and do that right.
The that's quite profound what you just mentioned. Tell me, Rod, where can the listeners, where can the guys get hold of you in the business?
About the business, you can go to techaffinity.com. That's our
Sure.
main webpage. Now, like I told you, we have done some bots as well. So you may find a bot greeting you, or if you call the landline number, chances
Yeah.
are it's going to come to the PBX, and I will get a message to talk to you afterwards. So I would say the most practical, easier way to reach me is through LinkedIn. And I don't know if I don't want to spell my name, but it's Rodrigo Artiga. People will try to
Excellent.
they can
Oh,
look me
lovely.
up and I'll be there and I will answer because I'm always connected.
Excellent. The Rod, I need to thank you for hopping on today. You've provided us with such, good golden nuggets, as I usually say. Good things to take home with us. And then, I can fully understand why you guys are so successful. The value, and one thing that stood out for me in our conversation today was specifically that attention to detail that you guys have. Like you mentioned, your CEO, the CEO of the business as well. That attention to detail that you guys have, that's not something one gets these days very often. So I can understand, like I said, why are you guys so successful, and all the best to you guys, all the best to
Thank
you,
you.
and thanks for hopping on. This was fun, man.
Well, thank you, sir. I hope we
Excellent.
do it again.
Of course. Take care, Rob. All the best.
Thank you.
Bye bye.